And good morning to you. I only came up with a title this morning about 10 or so minutes ago. Ever since I awakened, my thoughts have been scattered all over the place. Even in meditation, after my thinking about the people that I have on my prayer list and whatnot, which is a normal pattern, my mind my mind was just wandering, and I observe my mind in its journeys from this to that to the other thing. I mean, my thoughts were about, of course, yesterday's video and the responses that I received, about the Giants winning against the 49ers, which I had a feeling beforehand that that was going to be the case, and the Patriots also winning, and it would be a repeat in the Super Bowl from a few years ago when before the playoffs even began, I said I felt that the Giants were going to go all the way, and they did, even beating the Patriots, who were undefeated that year. We're having a repeat performance. And I didn't watch any of the games, but I pay attention to who wins. Joe Paterno died yesterday. That's something else that came through my mind because I honor that man. I think he was a great coach, and I've been a Penn State football fan as far back as I can remember. They were my favorite football team in college, just as the Giants have been in pro football. Anyway, you see, some of my thoughts are spiritual, some of them aren't. And I'm making a long introduction on purpose here because of the title that I selected. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go with Margie to Vero Beach, about an hour's drive south of where I live, a little bit further than that, south of where Margie lives. She's about almost a half an hour north of me. Anyway, I got to meet some new friends and stare into their eyes, and that's where the title actually came from this morning as I was thinking back on that experience. The first person that I connected with is someone that I had never met until yesterday. And often when I stare into the windows of the soul in that love exercise or intimacy exercise of just being with another human being with no words, no talking, no conversation, just looking at the eyes, looking into the eyes with a deep gaze, which I really like doing that with people because some amazing things have happened. But as I stood facing this woman whom, as I said, I had just met just a short time ago, and I really knew nothing about her. There was, it's not like in a workshop where you get to hear things about people for a period of time before you do that exercise. This time there was no such revelations as to who this lady was, and that was true, not just with her, but with it's true lots of times with people that I'm meeting for the first time. It was true yesterday. Anyway, I got the message yesterday, which I'm using as the title today. 2012, don't analyze, just feel the feelings. And I wrote a blurb. My mind does not like this advice. Some would say it's my ego. Both are right. I, ego, like to at least think I have it figured out. The truth is, I don't. Yesterday, once again, I had the opportunity to stare into the eyes of a fellow traveler on this journey called human life, of fellow travelers on this journey called human life. I often search for some meaning as I look into the windows of the soul. Spirit kept reminding me, don't think right now. Just feel. Just be. For what it's worth, it felt really, really good. And that is often my experience during those moments in time when I'm able to let go and not try to come up with an explanation and come up with words. Now, I naturally interpret things as words, even feelings. I put labels on them. What am I feeling? Sadness. What am I feeling? Joy. What am I feeling? Fear. What am I seeing in those windows of the soul? Am I seeing a past life connection? And sometimes that happens. And just to feel the feelings pushes me a little bit out of my comfort zone sometimes. Even though I'm not afraid of feelings, I like to associate them with thoughts. And I don't think I'm alone there. I'll bet you most people that are going to be listening to this feel the same way. I mean, we like to have the whole thing together, the thoughts and the feelings and the experience, of the now, connecting it with the past, sometimes predicting a future. One of the ladies said, "Do you give readings?" And I have, but I'm not a reader. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a medium. I don't put any of those labels on myself. Sometimes I see things. Sometimes I hear messages, and I don't mean audible voices. I mean, it's mental impressions. Oftentimes I sense energies around people, and that happens when I stare into eyes. Sometimes I have recognition. Oh, we've been together before in a past life. You're an old soul. I mean, I get those kind of impressions just looking at people. But the instructions yesterday were to just feel. So when it came time to explain what I had experienced with each person, what I experienced was my mind telling me, shut up and just feel. Don't try to put words on it. Don't analyze this thing to death. Just be here now and feel. And it was a really nice connection that I had with other people. It was a small group, but it felt really good. And as I was drawn back to that feeling this morning in meditation, and actually after I came from the meditation room here to the computer, as I was going back into that feeling, it does feel good. Yes, all of these things are swirling around us, all of these activities that seem to be so important and want to draw our attention. Yet if we will allow it, in each moment there is a space within us that we can simply be, that we can hang out and just feel. And almost inevitably, regardless of the circumstances, if we can quiet ourselves enough, there's peace in the present moment. If we just stop all the cacophony of sounds and voices and thoughts and analytical information, labeling, judging, if we can just shut that up just long enough, just look at somebody's eyes. I mean, I find that that's a beautiful way to do it. Just look at somebody. Don't talk. Just look. Just be. Hang out with another soul. And there's inevitably a feeling of peace. There's inevitably feelings of love. And when you feel the peace and the love, joy just seems to go along with it. You let go. Oh yeah, you can sometimes sense sadness, but even sensing the sadness, there's love there. And it's all okay. I've looked into people's eyes and I've seen anger. Why? How do I know it's anger? Because I can feel it. Because I've experienced it. Because we're really all one on this journey. I wish I could look into the eyes of people that seem to be my enemy. I wish they could look into my eyes. I'd like to experience tears running down both of our cheeks, as happened yesterday, and as often happens when I stare into people's eyes. My eyes just well up. and tears flow. And I don't try to cut it off or stop it. It is what it is. So I'm just leaving you a really peaceful message this morning, because it's a really peaceful message that I'm getting. And I'm trusting that your soul and my soul will continue to experience peace as we go through these changes in 2012. Only when we're trying to hold on to the old way does it seem threatening, because the old way is being released in our culture completely. Now, there were other thoughts that came to my mind just then, in fact. 2 other places that I thought of going before I got here this morning, or when I was reading my emails more specifically. But I'm going to save that for another time and another day, another place. I just leave you with the peaceful thought that in the present moment, if we just simply feel our feelings, divorced from the thoughts and the circumstances, if we just feel our feelings and connect with our own soul, we will find that there's peace here right now in this present moment. Feel that peace and be blessed. Namaste. Uh-oh. Cursor disappeared. There it is.